What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of College Kicks. I'm your host, Gio. And as you see from the title today, we are talking to Sacramento State head coach Mike Linenberg, along with Zac Giles and Lucas Bost. But before we get into talking to them, let's look at the conference play and see how these teams in the Big West have been doing. Conference play has already started. All teams have gotten in at least two games already so far from today, from this moment that we're recording. So let's just see how they did, how each team is standing, and how it's moving around. Now looking at the standings, as you see from the start at the very top is UC Santa Barbara. They have 2-0. They have their 6 points, getting two major wins and setting themselves very early to just putting themselves at the top for right now and trying to hold that into going to the postseason. But there's still a lot of games being played. There's still 7 games that all teams need to play. So a lot of things could change, but they're starting out very quick. And along with them is Cal State Bakersfield, who also have 2 wins. Both of their wins are against CSUN and Sacramento State that we're talking to today. So they got those out right there. But again, at the top, right below them with 4 points with a win and a tie is Cal Poly. They're starting off also very well. 4 points is pretty good, and kind of they're standalone right there in that situation. Right below them, we have two teams. We have CSUN with 1 win and 1 loss. Again, like I said, their loss is to Cal State Bakersfield, but their win is to UC Riverside. And we have Cal State Fullerton right below them, both evened out with 1-1 as well. And their win was also against Sacramento State. Right below them with 2 ties is UC Irvine, a team that was kind of expected to be top 20. I believe when we looked at it earlier, they're ranked at the top 20 at the time. So right now, not the start that they're looking for, but it's still some points. They have their 2 ties, and along with UC San Diego, they also have the same 2 ties. UC Davis right below, they have 1 loss, 1 tie, so they have the 1 point there, the standalone team with 1 point. And below them is UC Riverside and Sacramento State, both having 0 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties. So far, no points. But like you said, there's still games in the conference left. There's still, those 7 games, and with these points, anything could change. Anything could be a big factor in there. So really, just looking at this, we see that there could be a lot to change. But we'll get right into it. Joining us today is head coach of Sacramento State, Michael Linenberger, and two of his players, Giles and Lucas Bost. Hi, guys. Thank you for coming out, taking the time. How you guys doing?
Thanks for having us, Gio. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you for joining. It's very exciting just to get, coaches and athletes to take the time. And I hope, these people, the fans watching, are able to, see this, and hopefully when, they go out to see your games, watch your games if they can't go in person. And it's just great that, being able to talk to you guys here. But to kind of start this, you guys, off the top of that, you guys are going to be here in SoCal in a few days playing my alma mater, playing CSUN, Cal State Northridge. I don't want to say good luck and everything, but take it a little easy. Take it a little easy on my guys. But yeah, jokes aside, how you guys kind of looking and preparing for that, just from the trip itself to, the game time and everything that goes into it.
Yeah, so we depart tomorrow afternoon. We'll get down into Burbank tomorrow evening, and then the game on Wednesday night. It's a short training week. Obviously, we had yesterday off. We'll train today, and then we fly out tomorrow. So it's a short training week, short preparation for a big game at CSUN on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I think most important thing for players is taking care of our bodies right now. Obviously, conference season is very intense. A lot of games in a quick, few weeks. So just making sure that we're all healthy so that we can perform 100% on the field, because we're starting to get into that point where every game is a must-win game. So got to take that mentality and on and off the field to prepare ourselves.
Yeah, we're looking for our first conference points, so I know the team's fired up, and we're all looking forward to our next games.
Yeah, I bet it could be really exciting. After a few games, sometimes you're like, I want to get back in there, and I feel like, but like Zach just said, in the college level, it's very quick games, very short amount of time. Do you guys still like get that like kind of adrenaline, like okay, to the next game, or sometimes it's like, all right, let me take a day, and then I could get recuperating, get back to it.
I think we usually get some good rest the day after a game, just to kind of reset not just your bodies but your minds too, and then being able to watch film and stuff as you rest as well. It's not like you're going to go out and run a marathon the next day, but you can still prepare for the next game and still have your minds locked in, ready to go.
Yeah, I think reflection, especially the night after a game or like right after the game, obviously if you lose, you're going to be upset. But the mentality has to be to move on the next day because you only have 2 days before your next game and you have to mentally prepare for that. So, you can be upset about it for a few hours, but when the sun rises the next day, you got to get yourself mentally prepared to go and win another game.
Yeah. And coach, how do you get them mentally prepared, or even yourself ready for that?
Yeah, similar to the players, right? I think you need a little bit of time to decompress, whether you win or whether you lose. My motto is always don't get too high after a win and don't get too low after a loss. You need to stay a little bit even keel, decompress a little bit after the game, and then the next day it's on to the next task. So Sunday is typically our days off during Big West play, and then we're training Monday and Tuesday, or traveling on Tuesday, game Wednesday. You're training Thursday, Friday, game Saturday, and then Sunday's your day off. But there's a lot of preparation that goes into every game, reviewing of the game before, preparation for the next game. It is a whirlwind during the 1 month of conference play.
Yeah. No, I bet sometimes even just as broadcasting, the season feels so short. And for us broadcast, we only do home games, so we have a limited number of games. But for you guys have that double amount, but it's like okay, double amount. You think it's longer because they give you more time to rest, but no, it's just same time. Just put an extra game in between, and it's very tough. But now moving on from your next match that's coming up, I kind of want to take it back to last season and just give a look back of how you guys did from last season, and looking on to how you guys are looking to do this season. Right here, we look here, we see this is your guys' last season. Now it doesn't, a 6-10-2, it's okay, to a lot of people. I don't mean to be saying like it's like bad, but it's a 6-10-2. And now the next season, you guys is following the next year. How you guys feeling about that last season, and what you guys were looking to change for this season? Just looking back at this.
Yeah, so from a coach's perspective, yeah, we weren't satisfied with our year last year at 6-10-2. We felt we had some good moments, we had some good stretches, but we weren't able to sustain it over long periods of time. And so our goal coming into this fall was to try to be a little bit more consistent with our performance and with our results. But obviously, you look at our record right now, and we haven't accomplished that yet. Fortunately, there's still 7 conference games to go and still time. But we need to find a way to start getting some results, getting some points. And obviously, our ultimate goal is to make the 6-team conference tournament.
Just going off of what Coach Mike said, we had good stretches last year. I think we went 5 games unbeaten at one point. We had a week in the Big West where we beat CSUN 5-0 and then beat Santa Barbara 3-1. And we weren't able to consistently have these performances. And that's going to cost you against good teams in the Big West, because every game, is going to be against a good team. And so if we're able to, obviously we haven't done it yet, but if we're able to build that consistency in these last 7 games, we're going to be in a pretty good spot in terms of going into the tournament.
I definitely agree with Zach, and I'm glad that Coach also brought up this season's record, because now looking at this season, we see, as you said, it's not off to the liking, the start that you guys would want. But mathematically, with just the start of conference play, you guys have the opportunity to have a better record from last season to end with a better season technically by those standards. Is that kind of like, I'm not trying to say that's the mindset, like, oh, we have to be better than last season. I understand that the mindset is like we have to be our best no matter what. But sure, right here. But is it kind of like, how do you go into this season after how the non-conference has gone and how you're going to go into the conference games?
Yeah, so again, the non-conference part of the season didn't go the way we anticipated, the way we had expected. But I think you could also say that for probably 5 of the teams in the Big West. Got off to poor non-conference runs at it. The beauty of college soccer is the second half of the season is conference play, and it's a new start. It's a new season. Obviously, again, last week didn't go as we had expected, losing both games at home. But we felt we made some progress in some areas, and we still have high hopes and aspirations to finish strong our last 7 games. And our ultimate goal is to finish in the top 6 and get to the postseason where anything can happen. But we obviously have to find a way to win some games and start getting points here in the Big West.
Yeah, we're like Coach Mike said, our main goal is to get in the tournament. So that's where our focus is at right now, picking up points as often as possible and trying to get in that top 6 spot.
And would you guys say that having a better record compared to last season, although it may look positive to some people and some people it doesn't, what's kind of your perspective of that, if that's the fruition that does happen at the end?
Yeah, obviously you always want to have a winning record, a winning overall record. With the start that we've had this year, yes, it's mathematically still possible, but for me as a coach, that's not the most important thing right now. Most important thing is that we finish in the top 6 of the Big West and get to postseason play, and then try and make as deep a run as we can.
I think that's the mentality from as the team as well, the players. We're not too focused on the record. Obviously it doesn't look good, but we're not really. At the end of the day, conference is a whole new season, and so again, we have 7 games to turn this thing around, and we know we can. We have the ability to, and our focus as a team is just getting into the tournament right now. As high as a seed as possible, and making a run at trying to go get the Big West Championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a lot of what you could do. Again, it's a lot of what you could control and a lot of what things are going on. And I think, there is the ability, especially for you guys, that, some teams may think, damn, we're 0-2. It's good. Like our season's done. Some people have that mentality, but it's like you guys are saying, it's like, you can't have that. We still have a goal to reach. We still have, somewhere that we could still keep our season going. And I definitely agree with that. My next question to that is there some things that, as like a play on the field, that you guys feel like, okay, you know what, I made these mistakes on these non-conference games that I need to fix, or that will help a lot more during these conference games? Are there some changes that you just like mentally feel like, okay, I could do this on the field and it'll end in a different result?
From a coach's perspective, I feel that we've played pretty well in the majority of our games, but I feel that we've not made plays in the attacking penalty area to finish off plays to score goals. You look at our statistics, we haven't scored enough goals, and I also feel that we haven't made enough plays in our defensive box to prevent goals against us. It's kind of easy to say we got to score more goals and we got to concede less goals. Obviously it's hard to do, but I feel our play between the penalty areas has been pretty good in most games. We just got to find a way to make some special plays in the 2 boxes and to give ourselves a chance to win.
Yeah, I think the main thing that I want to see our team do better is just our mentality and our work. We've talked about it a lot. Defensively, we've given up too many goals, and I think most of the time it's because of our own mistakes. In terms of we're not working for each other. Everyone should be, flying around the field, and I think when we do that, we have a good chance to compete with anybody and win any game we're in. And if you watch the second half of Fullerton on Saturday, in that second half, everybody was defending. We were flying, and we were on top for a majority of the entire game. But also the second half, I felt that we had control of most of it because of the work that was being put in. And I think also keeping a positive attitude, because it's easy to get negative when you're doing, bad. So keeping a positive attitude and positive mentality going forward.
Yeah, I feel like each game, including non-conference, going forward, I feel like the mentality has gotten better from everybody. Whether you started off with 2 losses, you start off with 2 wins, doesn't matter. Like your entire team needs to be locked in. You need to be there. Everyone makes mistakes. Ronaldo makes mistakes, the GOAT. But you see, like, he bounces back, like he gets the next one and whatnot. And I think that's just something that we've been taking with us, and something that we need to keep focusing on. Every team needs to keep focusing on, but I think that's gonna really propel the rest of our season.
Yeah, and I definitely agree, because, like you guys heard from the intros, I was saying that teams that have the 2 wins so far, they're just setting themselves up early on. But like, there's still a lot of season. There's still 7 more games to go. That could literally bring you to the middle, to the bottom, to anywhere. It could move you up and down. 1 or 2 games could move you anywhere. You could go from 2-0 to 2-2 to 3-1 to 4-0. It really all changes, and that's the same thing for the teams that have gone 0-2, where yes, you're 0-2. That just means the mountain's a little steeper, but doesn't mean that's impossible. It means it could keep going. And like for you guys could flip it and turn it into from 0-2 to 2-2, and you guys are right there climbing back up that mountain. So I definitely agree with you guys that it doesn't just start with the production on the field, but also the mentality and how you guys are going to continue fighting and pushing for it.
Yeah, there's no question. I like my team here. I like the mentality. I like our talent. There's no quit in this group. We haven't given up. We haven't waved the white flag. We're going to come out flying on Wednesday night and try and get our first win in the Big West.
Yeah, and I'll be excited to see this game. I'll be able to call that game, so I'll see it in person how this goes. But kind of moving on now to the seasons and how you guys are going. I'll talk a little more individually about you guys and stuff. I'll start with Giles. Zach, I've heard that you this season scored your first career goal. Is that true?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Is that true? Okay. So as I have here, as you could see, is the goal that Zach scored. And let's just take a look. Let's just take a quick.
Crossed.
And there it is.
That is a beautiful cross.
Zach, what a goal. Like that is so hard to do just off of volley. And yeah, no, props to him, man. Because off of volley, that alone is pretty hard from any angle. No matter it's back post, front post, on top of the 18, like a volley is just hard itself. And I kept looking at it, and I couldn't really tell. Did it touch the ground first, or did you hit it off the air?
I hit it off the air.
Hit it off. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What take me through what was your mentality? What was your thought process from that run? Because you were on that left side. What was that run? You're like, if I get it, I'm taking a touch. I'm shooting it. Am I just hitting it one time? Like, just take me through it from the start.
So pretty much on every single set piece, I'm the guy who, our keeper catches it and I'm sprinting up the field. I like to think that I'm fast. So, they put me up there to run. And I do it every single time. And I saw that one, we got the ball out quick. I saw Looney on the right side. And, when you're running, a lot of times I won't get the ball, and, it's whatever. But this time I look up and I'm like, oh, shit, that ball's actually coming on my foot. So, and then, as soon as it lands, I knew it was going in. made it easy for me. And that feeling was awesome because I've had a few chances I've had in the last 2 years to get my first, and it just seems like it hasn't come for me. And to finally have it happen, and for it to be a game-winning goal as well, just makes it even sweeter.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were down 1-0 on that in that game, and then you guys get the penalty, and then literally 3 plays later, off their own corner, you guys counter and get this goal, and it's just so crazy and shows how quick the game could change. But like, just like the whole play, like the set play, like you're saying, it's a set play that you guys have planned out. Coach, did setting up these plays? Is that like, okay, this is how I want to play? This is what I'm trying to ask. Like, that's your mentality. This is how I want to play. We're gonna push quick. We're gonna counter quick because they're all in the box right there. Or is it just in any set play, or is it specifically corners? Like, what kind of is that like?
No, I think it's something that we try and work on. That we think we've got a few guys that have really good pace, and that we can potentially catch teams when they have an attacking set piece, whether it's a long throw in, a wide free kick, a corner kick. We have a couple setups that if we can defend it well, a lot of teams are then potentially exposed to the counter. And obviously that goal was a classic counter attack. And obviously you're not going to score every time, but I like to think that we're pretty dangerous on the counter. And that one was executed perfectly.
Yeah, and I agree to it. It's just, it was just kind of crazy. Like, I'm watching the film, and I just see it, and I'm like, oh wow, I was like, wow, that's, you hit it right off like that. Some players just miss it, and so it's really that was a really good one. And Zach, another one where I thought, ooh, you almost scored that one was against Utah Valley. I believe it was in the 59th minute. You recover the ball on the attacking third. You guys took it away, and you pass the team and sets it back up. You go and you shoot it, I believe, with your left foot, and I believe the keeper saves it. But that was another one really good shot that I thought that could have been your first career goal, and this would have been the second.
Yeah, that would have been a nice one for sure. That was a tough game. We were going away to I think they were number 16 at the time. We had built up a little momentum at the start of the second half. We had started to attack more. I hit the shot, and when it came off foot, I was like, oh wow, like I actually caught a piece of that, and the ball actually kind of knuckled towards the goalie a little bit, which maybe if it knuckles away, it goes off the post and in, but it's a good save. Definitely one that I was like, wow, if that had gone in, that would have been awesome. But can't do anything about it now.
Yeah, I mean, it happened, but like, it's still like those. Does that give you the confidence? Because it looked like it kind of gave you guys the confidence of like, hey, we could keep attacking more. We could keep pushing this button, because you guys. It looked like you guys at that moment turned it up a bit more. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, I think momentum changes in the game, and I think us seeing, because we hadn't really had much success in the first half. We had a few moments, but I don't know if their keeper really had to make a save in the first half. And just seeing like their keeper, we had him on the ropes a little bit, seeing their keeper make a few saves, it gives your team a confidence going forward. And also confidence going forward helps defensively. So I think, those things go hand in hand.
Yeah, no, I agree. It definitely goes hand to hand in those moments. Now, kind of moving over to Bost, there is one save that I did pretty much. I saw some film, and there was one save that I did stand out to me that I did like. I'm sorry if I missed the ones that you made some great saves. I know you had a great one against Fullerton where you came out prior to the second goal. You came out and closed up the goal, and you made that save right there. But this one is one that I liked. This one is one that I liked more right here against San Jose State.
Alberto Rivera and Angel Viguez to take this free kick. See who ends up taking it. Both lined up last time. Rivera took it with the ball off of Evan Batistessa. There we go. Second free kick of the afternoon for San Jose State. Leading right now 2-0. It will be Iniguez. Bost on top of that one makes a diving save, and
you just save it right there. Cause that let's be real, that shot was going on target. That shot was going on goal if you weren't there to make the save. So kind of what was your thought? What was going on right there?
Yeah, I think I've had some better saves this season, but for us it was more so it was not the start we wanted to the game, and I think internally most of us we were all just like beyond fired up at that point, and it was like got to keep this one out of the net, keep the game alive, and yeah, I mean he didn't hit it with that much power, so it made the save nice and easy to catch, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think is the way I see it is like if you did hit it with power, it means that you were there to make the save with the block of the hand. Because like you said, he didn't hit it with power, you were able to catch it, but put power, you were hit it out right there. So to me, like just seeing that, I think like it was one of your great saves. Like you said, you have other great saves, and I definitely agree. Like the one Fullerton, you have more, and it's just one of the ones that I liked. But kind of wanting, what is for both of you guys, for Zach and Lucas, what is like your preparation and in game is like these scenarios, because there's been a lot of these scenarios during the season so far that it's like, okay, we need a big save, we need a big play, we need a big run, especially like Zach, you're listed as a forward, but I see you playing more in that midfield sometimes, and you drop down a lot to help in the defense, and then you're sprinting up there to help on the attack. What's kind of your guys' mentality? Hey, we might be down or we might be winning. How do we either flip the momentum and put it in our side, or how do we keep this momentum, push the gas pedal on them? And then after, Coach Michael, how do you do that from as a coaching perspective?
I think like this situation where it's a direct free kick, as a goalkeeper, you're going to be like the one directly involved with the play, and it's kind of the mentality is, can I make a play here for my team? Not only to try to keep the ball out of the back of the net, but also to fire up your teammates to keep going. I think one thing that we do well is whenever someone on our team makes like a big play, whether it's offensive or defensive, we got guys either on the field or on the sideline, like getting the energy riled up again. And then I think you can use that energy to go into the next play and then the next play. And I think that's something that's really important, and just like a main focus for those kinds of plays.
Yeah, I think the same thing, just not necessarily like I have to make the big play when we need it, but just trying to help our team enough so that someone has an opportunity to make a big play, because we have a lot of talented guys and all of them can make big plays. And I think the first thing to do that is be solid defensively. You don't give up goals, and you get the ball to the midfield. Those are the guys that are going to create something for your team. You get it to our talented guys on the wing. So I think just being solid so that those guys can have an opportunity to make a play, and it can be anybody on this team who makes the play, is big for us in times like that.
Yeah, so we tell our goalkeepers that our expectations for our goalkeepers are make the routine saves, and then if you can come up with a big save or two per game, you give us a chance to win. You keep us in games. And Lucas has done that all season long. He did that on Saturday against Fullerton. He made 2 or 3 really good saves to keep it at 2-0. And then we scored late to make it 2-1. And we had a push even after that, the final minutes. We came close to equalizing. Same thing at Bakersfield. We were down 1-0, and we came close to equalizing with 18 seconds to go. So we don't feel we're far away, and we feel we're close, and we just need our guys to continue doing their job. We don't need any of them feeling they have to put the team on their back and they have to be special every time they're on the ball. We want them to continue doing the right things. And then we got to make a play in the boxes. As I stated earlier, we got to make a play in the boxes, but in the rest of the field, we just got to keep doing all the routine things well and do it consistently.
Yeah. And I like that answer. It's really, maybe the question way I word it is like, yeah, it's not one person. It's really just a team effort, but if everyone doing their job, it works out. And I completely agree with that. Speaking of saves, I'm glad you brought up the saves both. I saw you had 5 saves against Bakersfield, just one off on your career high. I understand it's not something you're really focused on or thinking about. You're just, doing, focus in the game. But at the end of the games, you're kind of looking back at it. You're like, oh, I was so close. I was almost there. It would have been cool if I got that sixth or even got two more saves to get the seventh. Kind of what were you thinking after finding that?
Yeah, like right after the game, obviously, like upset that we didn't get the tie or the win. I think that's everyone's reaction when you go out there for 90 minutes and you leave it on the field. I think it's like it was one of those games where it's like, especially on the defensive side, you're like, I want that goal back. Like that's not one that I want to give up, but just trying to move on from it. Like after they had scored, just trying to stay still locked in, still like 100%, still everything to go because the game's not over yet. Like we kept it at 1-0. I think I had 2 saves after the goal, but just trying to keep the team in the game and trying to use the momentum to go push and get our own.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand. Yeah. It's not, no one likes to talk and think about other things during the loss, but it's later on, like the next day you find out like, oh, well, I had 5 saves, and I get it kind of feels like maybe it was, it's just that one, like you said, I just needed that goal back, and it would have been great. One do I do want to point out to credit to you guys and coach. I believe it was you I heard on when I was listening to the film against Fullerton. That second goal was offside. That second goal was offside. He made the run with the intention to the play. His teammate just happened to get it before. It's offsides by rule. And what did you do anything after, like talk to the Big West, the refereeing association, something like, is there something that you do, or you kind of just let it go? Like, look, at the end, this is the result. We got to live and move on to the next game.
Yeah, I didn't do anything after the game. Obviously, it's frustrating. For me, the most frustrating part is that we now have video review, and that would have been an instance that's reviewable, but the referee chose not to review it. So for me, that was the most frustrating part, but it's a tough job. Refereeing soccer is a tough job. And some calls go your way and some calls don't go your way. And this is part of it. It's part of the drama. It's part of the excitement all over the world. So, yeah, it's frustrating in the moment. It didn't go our way that day, but got to move on and get ready for the next one.
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing because, we don't know how the rest of the games would have gone. But in that moment, you guys would have been tied 2-2. And those are conference games. Those are points that matter. And significantly, you guys would have been in the middle of the table, roughly. When we look back at it, you guys would have been roughly in the middle. So, like you said, you can't do anything about it, what sucks, but you have VAR. Like, check the VAR. It's right there. Like, if you check it and you say, no, okay, whatever, you checked it, sure. But at least check it. At least check it. The least you can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was tough. I was watching that and I looked at it, I was like, that's offsides. And I was here and I was like, I think that's coach. I think he's saying we have VAR, check the VAR.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the one thing I do want to ask Zach now, and coach also the thing of this. You're listed as a forward, like I mentioned earlier, but you play some more midfield. You run down to help in the defense. You're a player that I describe as there to give the energy and the boost to help out the team in any way possible. Doesn't matter what the position is.
Yep.
And which do you like to play better? Attacking on the attacking third or in that midfield? Because I see you guys play with that 4-4-3, and Zach, you're everywhere on it. Which one do you like to play more, and kind of, coach, which one do you think, he's able to help out a little more, or whatever you think?
Yeah, I think I definitely. I mean, it's no secret. I definitely like to attack more than I like to defend. I do defend. I feel especially against Fullerton, I thought it was one of my better defensive games. But at the end of the day, like, just wherever on the outside I can get minutes at is where I'm gonna play, and that's all I care about is playing time. So if Coach Mike tells me, "Hey, you're gonna play right back today," I'll play right back. Hey, you're gonna play right wing. You're gonna play right wing.
I'm good with whatever, if he tells me I'm going to play center back, I'll play center back, so whatever way I can get minutes and whatever way I can help the team, I'm willing to do. I'm not too, mad about, I want to play, forward and they're not playing me forward. I don't really get concerned with that stuff. As long as I'm playing and playing well, there's always opportunity for me to show my quality in the attacking half as well as the defensive half. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm happy to hear his attitude, right, that he's willing to play anywhere that the team needs. But he's never going to play center back, believe me.
Sure.
Zac he's a versatile player, obviously. I think he's best in a wide area, whether he's playing as a wide back, wide in midfield, or as a winger up front. He's more than capable of doing everything. So we move him around a little bit depending on how we're playing, what's going on in the game. Are we home? Are we away? Do we need a little more stability in the back? Do we need more firepower going forward? Zac's got pace. He's good 1v1. I actually feel he's a little bit better attacking from deeper air, from the midfield or even from the outside back. I feel he's best when he's running at guys, running forward. Sometimes when he starts higher up the field as a winger, sometimes his back's to goal a little bit less space. It's a little bit more challenging sometimes. So I feel he's best kind of from a deeper area. But he's definitely versatile, and we'll continue using him everywhere, left and right side, but not as a center back.
So what about Lucas? Is he getting on the field aside from goal? Like
At the 9.
Have we seen him playing forward striker? Like what's going on here, Lucas? Do you play? Are you willing to give that a try?
Oh, it's my dream, Gio. This last summer, I actually played, I think, 3 games at the 9, and every game I scored. Don't ask me who it was against because I'm probably a top team, but I love scoring goals. I'd prefer to keep them out of the net, but the opportunity to kind of get out of the defensive box and get on the other side is always exciting.
Well, see, there you go, coach.
Yeah, every goalkeeper thinks really they're a center forward, right? But I think the games he's talking about this summer were when he was working as a camp coach at our 106 soccer camps this summer, and coaches versus the kids.
There's a lot of them.
And there's a lot of kids. They get in the way. They get in the way. Like, it's
hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bunch of them in the way. You're like, what do I do? You just gotta header it in. You just gotta header it in. That's all it. But yeah, no, it's always cool, and it's cool to see. Coach. I each coach has his own preference, but for you, I don't know for you if you would like players that play multiple positions rather than just having one that's there. Obviously, it's great to have one that's great at the position and they refine that and they work on it all. But do you also like to have players who know how to play striker and center back, or CDM and winger, or those are for some examples?
Yeah, I think kind of the modern way is to have players that are comfortable playing different positions, different roles. I also feel it's a big jump from youth or high school soccer to Division I college soccer, and sometimes players play different positions. Once they move up to a higher level, sometimes you have to adapt and play a different role. We've recruited guys in the past as center forwards. They end up being center backs. It's a different challenge from youth or high school or community college soccer into Division I soccer. It's just a big jump in all kinds of areas. So having players that are comfortable and open-minded to play different positions, I think is really, really important.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that, it's you kind of have the ability to play multiple players in certain situations, whether it kind of leads to too many players having yellows, if it leads to many injuries, you can always fall back on other players like, hey, I could just move him here and he could get the job done like I need him to get it done. So I think that It's great to that. I have a few more questions. Another one for Zach that we spoke about. You playing on top or in the midfield or wing back or all that stuff. Do you find yourself in some of the scenarios where you're in the midfield or attacking? Do you see yourself as a pass first player trying to create, or do you see yourself more as a, hey, when I'm in the box, I'm selfish, I'm gonna take these shots, or do you think like, hey, no, I get it. Let me look for a teammate first. Let me try to get that crossing because that's kind of how you guys like to play is going
Yeah.
to the sides and cross it in. Is that your mentality, or are you like, you know what? If I'm outside 18, I'm taking the shot here.
I think I have a little bit of both. I think there are times where, I understand that it has to be me, but I think honestly I probably passed too much a few times. I've seen a few clips when I go back and watch film where I'm looking at it, I'm like, why did I not just shoot that shot there instead of trying to, make another pass to get an easy, I'm trying to make an extra pass to my teammate, but I should have just taken the shot myself. So I think there are times where I could be more selfish, and I think there are also times where I could be less selfish, where I see myself and teams are sending 2 players and I'm 2v1 and I'm trying to go through 2 people. That's where, I need to find the pass and stuff like that. So I think just finding the time to do both. Sometimes I'm not the best at it, but I feel overall I'm usually going to be a pass first in terms of I like to beat the guy wide and get a cross in for my strikers to finish.
Yeah, no, I was just because watching the IC, I definitely agree you are more pass first, but like I kind of pointed out there's those moments where you are looking to take the shots. Like even if you don't take it, you could kind of see you looking up, like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I have a chance right here. So I was just wondering, like, kind of your mentality that changes throughout certain parts of the field and where you're looking. Obviously, if you're too far back, you're not taking a shot from 60 yards out, but when you're getting closer to that.
I think if you get me one-on-one with anybody on close to the 18, my mentality is I'm beating them and I'm going to shoot. I think that has to be the mentality. I think if we're a little bit wider, even on the 18-yard box, but wider in between the sideline and, the edge of the 18, I'm looking for, can I beat this guy and hit a good cross in? If I'm deeper, can I hit an early ball, catch the defense out? So, yeah, that's kind of how it changes with, where I'm at on the field.
Another question I had for you guys, I kind of mentioned to you guys earlier, and this is more for coach. Notice that majority part of your kickoffs, you love to start off laying it back down to a midfielder and then sending it up, more specifically to the right side too. You have a winger just making that run. What kind of got you to, telling them to start off like that? For majority, because I've seen some where you guys just control it, pass it back, let the play go. But what was that mindset, or what was your thoughts of just like, hey, we're gonna do this for a lot of times. It's not just one time. We're gonna practice it. We're gonna do it. Was it something you saw? Was it something you learned that like, hey, it keeps high pressure on the opponents just right off the bat, and we got to keep that pressure on them and push them back? Or is it just like, hey, I get positive results. I get goals sometimes, so let's try it.
Yeah, I think that the mentality has changed in recent years with kickoffs. In the past, it's always been you play it backwards and you end up going all the way back to your center backs, or sometimes all the way back to your goalkeeper, because we're all in our own half of the field to start. But when you just go backwards, you're inviting pressure from the opponent. They can step and press you right away. You're starting to see even professional team, PSG does this, right? Kickoff, they dump it and then they go press. So it's not always we're trying to have a set play on a kickoff where we're trying to necessarily, go score and get in behind them right away. It's almost a little bit, let's dump it in their corner. Let's go press, see if we can win it and go to goal, or get a corner kick or a deep throw in. Just a little bit safer, and let's get on the front foot. Let's put our opponent on the back foot from the start, rather than we play it all the way back and now they're on the front foot stepping and pressing on us. So it's something that we've changed a little bit over recent years. And it used to be, I think you never saw the pros do it, but now you're starting to see the pros do it.
Yeah.
So if it's good enough for PSG, it's good enough for us.
I completely agree. Why not learn from the pros, right? If, like you said, if the pros are doing it, why can't we do it? Like,
Yep.
we're trying to get to that level. Why not let us be there? And coach, with your years experience, I mean, I read 36 years of as a head coach there at Sacramento State. You know, I feel like any player, any coach, you never just fully know everything about the sport, because every year you're learning something different. Like you said, the game changes. And you know, like you said, I'm not sure you picked it up from PSG themselves, but you're seeing them do it. And is that something like as a coach, you're like, I'm still here and I'm still adding more to the arsenal. I'm still learning some more things that I know could help our team, or maybe, hey, this doesn't work anymore. Let's try to change it up.
Yeah, 100%. You never stop learning in this game. Trends are always changing. Ideas, systems, tactics, everything is always changing. So trying to stay up with the latest trends of the game. As soon as you think you know everything, then it's time to get out. So, yeah, I didn't necessarily get that from PSG. Maybe PSG got that from us. I don't know.
That'd be good. What if you talk to Luis Enriquez and he's like, yeah, I was watching Coach Linenberger out in Sacramento State, and I was like, you know what, that would work here. That would work here in League One. We got it. You never know. You could ask him.
That's
one
right.
Day
maybe he has ESPN Plus.
He
watches the Big West. He probably watches the Big West.
He's probably a fan. We never know. And so on Wednesday, he might be listening in.
That's right.
Just a few more questions just right before we get towards the end here. Aside from making the top 6 of the conference, you guys spoke about that. You know, that's the goal right now. But what was the goal prior to the season? You know, what was the goal before the whole season started? What was your mentality coming out of spring training, summer training? And it's like, all right, this is what we want to accomplish, aside from, you know, we're going to win conference. But, like, you know, your goals in that, and what was your goals as a team? Well, you know, you want a certain playing style set in there, and you want them to be, you know, great at it, or was it something to those aspects?
I think, like, obviously the goal going in is you want to play as well as possible, but at the end of the day, you just want to pick up points. After the 90 minutes, it doesn't matter how you do it. If you get 3 points, life's great. And the main goal at the start of the season was to win the Big West tournament and get into the NCAA tournament. So I don't think that's changed at all. I think we're still shooting for the same goals. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Bost. I think, you know, just playing as good as we can as a team. And I think if we do that, we're going to be in a good spot in the future. But, you know, we talk about goals, and our goal is always, you know, to win the Big West. And, you know, I know you said other than conference, but at the end of the day, I think for me and on the team, our goal is to do anything we can to win the Big West Conference and go into the NCAA tournament. And then from there, you know, the goal is obviously win the national championship. So.
Yeah, I think, you know, kind of looking big picture, as we stated earlier in the show, we had good moments last fall. We had some decent stretches, both in the early part of the season before the conference, and then during Big West play. We had some good stretches, but we weren't very consistent. So going into the spring, we wanted to be more consistent with our performance. And then your hope is that if you can be more consistent in performance, the results kind of take care of themselves. And we had a good spring. So, you know, coming into this fall, obviously our ultimate goal is always make the Big West tournament. Ultimately, you want to finish in the top 2 seeds, because then you get a first round bye, you get a home game for the semifinal. This gives you the best chance to win. You know, secondary, you want to finish 3rd or 4th, so you at least get a home game in the quarterfinal. But at minimum, you want to finish in the top 6, so at least you're in the playoffs. So that's always the ultimate goal. But trying to be consistent with performance. That's the key. And because if you're consistent with performance, not everything is going to go your way. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck. You need a call to go your way. You need, to minimize mistakes. You need a little bit of help, because there's a lot of parity in Division I men's college soccer. There's a lot of parity in the Big West. Everyone is good. So you need a little bit of good luck, a little bit of fortune, but you need consistent performance. And for me as a coach, that's what I try to get my team to do. This was my ultimate goal going into the season. Let's be consistent with our performance, and then results take care of themselves. We haven't accomplished that yet. Again, we've had moments, we've had good moments, but it hasn't been consistent enough. I do feel in our first 2 conference games, even though we lost, we've been way more consistent over the course of 90 minutes. So we've lost 2 close games that, for me, they were games that could have gone either way. We could have come out with 1-goal wins in both games. Both games could have ended in a draw. Unfortunately, we're on the losing end of 1-goal games in both of them. But we were way more consistent, I think, with our performance over 90 minutes in those 2 games. And hopefully that will continue to carry over, and we can start to get some results to go our way.
Yeah, no, I agree with what, like you said, and that's kind of like, I think a lot of teams, and it's like, it's your guys' goal, but for a lot of teams, it's, you kind of just want that consistency, right? Like you say, you need luck, you need all this, but as long as you could stick your foundation set at consistency, you could worry about the rest as the games go on and things like that. But as long as you have that, that's something you could always you could fall back on and trust that your team has that. For Zach and Lucas, any personal goals you guys had at the beginning of the season, and if they changed now or not?
I think for me, just trying to have consistent performances, trying to keep the ball out of the net as much as possible. I wouldn't say there's like a specific number I had in mind or anything like that, but just trying to go out on the field, and then after every opportunity, after the games, just being able to reflect and be like, that was good. That was a good performance today. And just trying to help the team win at the end of the day. I mean, we're here because we love the game and all of that. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to get results. We're here to work together as a team. And so for me, I guess my individual goal is also the team goal, just make playoffs, try to perform as well as possible, and then see where things end at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think for me, individually, I want it to be more of a difference in the attacking half of the field. We need more guys to step up in the attacking half, I thought, this year. And, I haven't done a bad job of it yet, but, obviously it can get better because we're not scoring enough goals. And if we do that, again, I want to get to the tournament. I want to do anything we can with this team. I believe we can go really far. Individually, just having good performances, being consistent, because I think that's a big thing in Division I soccer, is consistency from an individual performance perspective is huge. If you want to stay on the field, if you want to go to the next level, that's what the best players in the world do, is consistently perform day in and day out, whether it's training, whether it's a preseason game, whether it's a conference game, doesn't matter. They perform every time they step on the field. And so that's something that I want to do every single time I step on.
Yeah, and really, I think those are personal goals where I think you could still reach even right now. Like you said, you feel like you haven't really completely reached that, but it's like you have the whole conference season still to get to those goals, and you achieve what you guys want to achieve on that part. One more question for all you guys, and then after that, I kind of leave it up to you guys. If there's anything else you guys want to say at the end before we wrap it up, anything guys, last minute things that we haven't even mentioned or talked about. But my last question is, it's kind of something I don't really know of for all three of you guys. What is the recruiting like to get someone to go play in Sacramento? Because I believe, Zach, you're not from the Sacramento area, right?
I'm from around here.
Oh,
I'm
you
from
are? Okay.
I'm from like around here, but I'm from 40 minutes away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that I was kind of wondering, like, because Lucas, I saw you came from Chico State, and then like you moved over. But also, coach, how do you get players that are not from the Sacramento area, or that close by, to like, hey, come play with us? You could play soccer over here. What's kind of that recruiting like? And for you guys, what was that recruiting like to transfer over or come out of high school?
Can I answer first? I got a test at 12 that I have to go to.
Also, my computer is at 1% right now. So
All right, I'm gonna talk fast. Okay. Recruitment wise, our assistant coach, Matt McDougall, I've played against his club teams since I was like 10 years old. So I've always kind of had a connection with him. And as you said, I transferred over from Chico State. And when I was looking to leave, Doogie was one of the first people that I reached out to because of our prior relationship, and I heard a lot of great things about the program and about the coaching staff. One of the biggest reasons I looked in this direction was because a lot of my coaches growing up were actually alumni from Sacramento State who used to play here, and they had nothing but good things to say about the staff. And for me, it's like, if these are the people that you're going to spend your time with, like, you want to make sure they're great people. And so I felt like I hit the lottery there, and things have been great since. But yeah, I got to go to my test, but thank you for your time, Gio.
Yeah. For those watching, Lucas had to go. Zach is on his phone here. His computer is
you guys
dying.
can hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Just right at the end. Right at the end. But yeah, just Zach, you're.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm from a small club where I'm from in Lincoln, Blues FC. And I think Coach Mike actually saw me at an ODP event with Cal North. He saw me playing the 10, so playing the central attacking mid. And he texted me, reached out, and had a call with him. And, the first call I had, you can tell that, he's a very genuine person. And it didn't feel like I was just talking to a coach. It felt like I was talking to someone that is, actually cares about me and cares what I want to do. And again, I wasn't very highly recruited coming out of high school. Sac State was actually my only set in stone D1 offer. I had interest from other schools, but they brought me in. They, took me on an official visit. I met the guys. It was amazing. The coaches were great, and then Coach Mike made me the offer. And I think about a month later, I committed to the school, and just very grateful for the opportunity that he gave me. That him, Doogie, and was it Coach? I think it was Pedro at the time before I came in. Was the other one that recruited me, but just them giving me a shot, and then obviously having to come and very grateful. And it was more of like, I'm a very loyal guy. I stayed with a small club for my entire youth career, and I think if you're gonna show loyalty to me, I'll show it back. And they showed loyalty, and so I show it back in my performances here, hopefully. And yeah.
So the recruiting process, obviously you try to uncover every stone possible, right? The high schools, the junior colleges, domestic, international, the clubs, the academies. You're constantly looking, talking to coaches. It's far from an exact science, and it's a never-ending process. But I think we've got a beautiful school here. We're in a beautiful location. We're nestled along the American River. Chance to play in the Big West Conference is amazing. It's exciting that our entire university, our entire athletic department will be in the Big West starting next year. We've been a member of the Big West since 2012. And then beach volleyball has been in the Big West for a few years. But now the entire athletic department is joining the Big West starting in 26. So that's exciting. We've got a president here now that is all about athletics. He's putting resources into it. We just hired Mike Bibby as our new men's basketball coach. He's brought in Shaquille O'Neal as his general manager. So things are buzzing on campus. It's exciting times here. And I think things are going to be great here in the next few years. And I think all of our sports are going to continue to grow.
Yeah, no, and that's great. Like Mike Beebe, like you say, who's gonna help out with the basketball aspect. You have Shaq, and he was able to get Mikey Williams from UCF to transfer over. But also on the football aspect, you guys have some professional NFL athletes coming in to be head coach and things like that. So really just my last thing, I kind of just leave it up to you guys. Is there really anything you guys have that you kind of just want to add? You want to say last second thing, that's something we never really got to touch on, got to talk about, anything like that?
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is looking forward to this game on Wednesday night at CSUN. Terry and I have been colleagues and friends and rivals for a long time. Obviously, he's been at CSUN for a long time. I've been at Sac State a long time. We've had some classic games over the years. I expect another exciting, great game on Wednesday night. And I appreciate you having us on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Coach, for joining in today. Like you said, thank you to Zach. Thank you to Lucas, who had to go. Just the three of you guys for taking the time out and being able just to talk. I mean, appreciate all of it. And yeah, excited to see you guys down here Wednesday calling games. So I'll get to talk to you guys before or even after the game in person. But it's time to see how this game goes. And let's see how it ends up happening, like I said, good luck, but not too much. Not against CSUN. The rest of the league, you score like 10 goals against them. That's cool. We'll CSUN, I don't know about that one.
Understood. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thank you guys again. For everyone else watching, thank you guys for watching. This is another episode of College Kicks. I'm Gio. Tune in next time for our next episode. You'll see who we have that time, and then see the changes in the Big West. Like we're gonna see a lot of teams moving up and down. But thank you guys. See you guys next time.
All right, Gio.
Thanks, Gio.